Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. We're going to do this is going to be a focus on your main theme for 2026. So I am going to be doing more in-depth 2026 readings in the near future, but right now we're just going to focus on the focus of your main theme for the year, which we're going to figure out right now in just a second. So again, that's going to be the focus of the entire reading. You start with, I didn't even read them, you have this angels are watching card. It says there's nothing to worry about. The angels are watching over you, which is nice, and it is a very spiritual time for you, Pisces. We'll talk about that in a second. You have this entanglement card. It says if you realize you're in an entanglement, it may be time to move on or take a break. Pisces. Number one, Uranus is going to be squaring Pisces for a while, and in Gemini, of course, which is definitely going to be interesting for you. People say to me all the time that a planet cannot square a sign. Yes, it can, because that's how math works, right? So we have Uranus, and then we have wherever the sun was when you were born. So for those of you that are born Deacon 1, first 10 days of Pisces, the Uranus in Gemini is going to square you and affect you the most, basically, until 2028 or so. And then from there, it's going to move on. It's going to affect more Deacon 2 and then Deacon 3 later on in the future by the time we get to the end of Uranus and Gemini in 2033. But for the most part, it's going to affect you all the same. I kind of feel like your main theme is to let go of everything that you are entangled with, and it is time for you. Like, I feel like you're done pretending. Those are the words that are popping into my head here, Pisces. I don't know how else to say it, so sorry if that sounds mean. I don't think it is mean. I think this is a good thing, of course, Pisces. I think you're, showing the world who you really are, or at least you're going to stop caring what other people think. I think that's what the entanglement is. I don't think it's like an entanglement with a person. That could be part of it, but I feel like that entanglement card is kind of like multiple things that you are woven into, and the Four of Pentacles is kind of like the old life, This is coming up as the first card. My intention for these readings was that the first card was going to describe the main theme that you will be focusing on in 2026. So Four of Pentacles is like those old stories that you're holding on to. And again, this fits in very well with the astrology, especially with Uranus in Gemini next year. Right now it's retrograding into Taurus, but next year in the springtime it moves back into Gemini to stay. And again, I think this is going to be a major theme for you. I feel like you've probably already started feeling this, already started working on it, because Uranus has already moved into Gemini. So even, again, I don't think the reading is saying you have to wait till spring to start working on these things. Like, I would just do it now because, you've already experienced it. But the Four of Pentacles is all those things that keep you small. I always look at the Four of Pentacles as something that can keep us small, or where we are kind of like cheating ourselves out of something good, or probably multiple things. I think this is a very big picture reading. It doesn't surprise me. Again, I'm not trying to be clickbaity or anything, but 2026 I think is probably a pretty significant change year for Pisces, because it is a year of reinvention with Gemini, Uranus and Gemini, of course. But we also have this magic triangle that I've talked about before that is definitely going to be affecting you between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto in the astrology. And what I would say is that, it was triggered in Pisces with Neptune in Pisces, also Saturn in Pisces. And, this magic triangles, this magic triangle also lasts until 2028, basically, is when it fully separates. And, I just think it's really good for water signs in general, but I think it's extra good for you because part of it was Neptune kind of forming one of the points, basically, obviously. That's how triangles work. But, again, very good for change. It is very magical. You can come up with very innovative ideas for your life. But like I said, the Four of Pentacles, I feel, is saying, let go of those things that you're settling for. I always say that, sorry, not to babble on about this too much, but I feel like it's important, Pisces. I always say with the Four of Pentacles, there used to be a meme that was going around Facebook years ago. I don't know if anyone remembers it, but it was like a little girl. She was holding on to like a tiny little teddy bear, and God was like standing in front of her, and he had like a gigantic ass teddy bear behind his back. And I don't remember exactly what the meme said, but it basically said something like, sometimes the things that you're holding on to are preventing you from getting something better, right? that's how I think of the Four of Pentacles. It's like you're holding on to this tiny little thing, but it's like the universe or God or whatever you believe in has something much, much bigger in store for you. And, that's the feeling I get here. And like I said, I feel like you're done pretending that there are things that you want to do. You have the World card. The World is an accomplishment or an achievement. And this is your crossing energy. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you. I do feel that you're going to be thinking about your place in the world and even how you appear to the world. We have the sun in the past position, but, sometimes I think the sun can have to do with our appearance, how people see us and things like that. I'll give you a great example. I've been going to these classes every single Monday, and even I noticed during this class, this is going to sound very weird, but I'm just going to bare my soul to you here, Pisces. I'm a Pisces, and it's like something I noticed about myself is that, it's like during the class, I was like smiling, right? But just like at random times, I was catching myself smiling at like stuff the guy was saying, and I was like, why do I smile? Like, as I laugh at myself, but it's like, I was just catching myself doing it like automatically, and I'm like, am I really smiling? Am I like, do I really think what he's saying is funny? Like, yeah, sometimes, but, sometimes not, And so I was like catching myself doing these like automatic things. And I don't know, I just think a lot of Pisces could be doing that, like thinking about their personality or how they appear. And I'm not saying you shouldn't smile, of course, Pisces, but what I'm saying is, this entanglement thing. It's like sometimes smiling is like basically people pleasing. You're trying to get the approval of others, right? And so it's like, are you doing it because you actually want to do it, or are you doing it because it's automatic, because you feel like you have to get the approval of others, right? And, like I said, just something to think about. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Chariot. Yes, I feel very good about this. This is a very good reading. I mean, we go down King of Cups to the Eight of Wands and the Six of Swords here. So we see a lot of forward movement. I definitely, I think I've said this to you before. I think 2026 is definitely a more forward movement year for everyone, really. But for you, definitely. So, I would just keep charging forward. I think there are things that you want to set yourself apart on. He has the city behind him behind. The whole entire reading, again, is one theme. And the thing, the cards all play very nicely together because they're all basically saying you're moving in a new direction, or, you're kind of charging towards who you really are, the life that you want. I do feel like a little bit more carefree energy, not careless, or it's not that you don't care. I just think that a lot of you, it's like you're not caring so much about the things you say, the things you do. And again, I feel that's going to be the thing that really sets you apart. And this reading definitely wants you to be, that's how we have a victory with the Chariot. He's leaving something behind, that city behind him, so that he can set himself apart. And, that's what I would be doing. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the King of Swords. I feel like you've learned a lot, of course, over the years, and definitely Neptune and Pisces has been a doozy for you, Pisces. So, Neptune moving back into Aries in January, at the end of January next year, 2026. Obviously I should say this year because this reading is for 2026, but whatever. And what I would say is that, I think that it's a little bit of a release. I think you've learned a lot of lessons. King of Swords is knowledge and wisdom. He has to use his wisdom, his knowledge for wisdom. He has to put what he has learned into practice. And so I think that's important. One thing that I would look out for, again, very good reading. One thing I would look out for with the King of Swords is what you know, because it's like sometimes, I think there is the curse of knowledge where it's like, and also the King of Swords is history. The problem with history right now is that history is over. So we have Pluto, has gone into Aquarius. Again, probably the most significant change in our lifetimes. Again, most generations don't experience Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius because it takes 200 and whatever years, 240 something years for Pluto to make a full orbit, right? And what's significant about it being in Capricorn to Aquarius is when it's in Capricorn, it's as close to Earth as it possibly can be. It's still very far away, but it's very close. It has a highly elliptical orbit. Then when it's going into Aquarius, it's like it's leaving Earth, kind of. And so, it kind of signals a big, major generational change that will affect hundreds of years. And, we're entering into a new world. So we have to learn new things, and we have to learn how to, adapt to the new world and things like that. And I just feel like this is saying, it's good for you to use your knowledge, the things you've learned, but also be willing to learn new stuff. And that's popping into my head. Next, we're going to look at what's going on in your past position. You have this card. It says you and your loved ones are safe. You have this confidence is a key to your success card. Yes, definitely. You have the sun as well in the past, which would also say that, confidence is the key to your success. So this is coming up in the past, but that doesn't mean that you can't still work with this energy. And, again, confidence is going to be something that is very important for you. I get something here just intuitively about you, like sticking to your word or something like that. I get that as being important. It's, again, another like minor challenge. Again, we're going to have another deeper 2026 reading soon. But what I would say is like another little challenge that's popping into my head is not like a big deal, but I think there could be moments in 2026 where people say things to you like, where they're like questioning the things that you're doing. And again, going back to that entanglement thing, I feel like old Pisces would normally be like, I have to, you being woven in and entangled with other people. It's like old Pisces would be like, I have to, take this person's concerns into account. I have to listen to this person over here. I have to make sure I'm not upsetting my mother over here. It's like, all these entanglements, affect your decisions. This is like you coming back to center really and deciding that you're not going to take any of that into account, which is probably a good thing, Pisces, and you're just going to listen to yourself, right? And so, I think that's going to be important. You have the sun in your past. Again, the sun is a great card, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. What I'm getting off of this card is that you did the right things this year, 2025. So, again, I'm recording this at the end of 2025, and I feel it's saying, actually, Pisces, even if you feel like you didn't do a lot in 2025, I feel like you did the right things, and I feel you're going to see that in the near future in 2026. So I do like this. The sun wants us to make things easier on ourselves as well. This has been a focus all of 2025. I've pretty much said all of 2025. We're probably going to see this again in 2026. 2026 is the year of horse in the Chinese zodiac. So the year of the horse is all about momentum, chariot, momentum, six of swords, eight of wands, momentum. If we make things easier on ourselves and not such a challenge, then obviously we can build a lot of momentum. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this To the Sea card and this Soulmates card. So a lot of you could be, again, Gemini in your fourth house. Uranus in your fourth. Even if you're not a fourth house Gemini, Pisces, doesn't matter. It's going to affect you pretty much all the same. And I would say that some of you could be like moving around a lot or moving in the year of 2026, even if you don't think you are. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you did a lot of moving until 2033, so the next 7-ish years or so, because of Uranus and Gemini. Now, you don't have to. It's not like saying, you absolutely have to be moving and things like that. You could just be making a lot of moves, which we see. Chariot, Eight of Wands, Six of Swords, even the World. These can be cards of you just making moves in your life, which I feel like is important. I do feel like some of you could be attracting love. It is a good love year for you. The Soulmates card could also just be you thinking about the people that are your soulmates. It's like our brothers or sisters, aunts, uncles, all those people that are close to us, even, our closest friends I believe can be our soulmates. So, could be forming a lot stronger connections, which is good. You could also be forming connections with people who have boundaries, again, which could be important. If you think about it, if you have entanglements with people, chances are they don't have boundaries either because they're allowing you to get entangled with them, right? So, you might find yourself kind of like forming those types of connections. You have the King of Cups also in the very near future, which is you, Pisces, showing up in a very strong position. So whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. I feel, and again, the whole emotion thing is popping up here. The King of Cups has very deep emotions. He's not smiling, Pisces. He's got a very stern look on his face, but really he's just being in control of his emotions. Again, I don't think that whole smile thing was saying don't have emotions. Of course not. I think what it's saying is that you need to look at your emotions that you actually have. It's like if you're just smiling, just to, people please or whatever, that might, and I'm not saying it's smiling, it could be anything, that you're feeling. And I would definitely look into that. There's something important about it. It might have to do with your confidence. It might have to do with, how you appear to other people. If like other people are always seeing you as smiling and things like that, that could be weird. So definitely something to think about. Next, in your outcome position, you have this healer card. Great year for healing for sure. It says you are able to provide great comfort and support to those who are on a healing journey, whether their pain is physical, emotional, or spiritual. You have this reckless card. It says uncontrolled spending habits and impulsive purchases are making your financial journey harder than it has to be. Yes, Uranus and Gemini, very, kind of like unpredictable, can be a little bit reckless. So again, I don't think this is going to be a huge issue for you, Pisces, but it's just something to pay attention to next year for sure. It might be a good time to just think before you do something, especially involving money next year. We have Uranus retrograding in Taurus, and I would even be paying attention to your investments, for example. Uranus in Taurus does not like get rich quick, and even though Uranus, again, will of course be in Gemini next year, we had to learn for many years with Uranus and Taurus. So it's like no get rich quick schemes, no like random investments. Again, if you do your research, fine, that's one thing, right? Uranus wants us to have a good reason as to why we're either spending money or investing money or doing something with our money. So as long as you do your research, you'll be fine. It's only when you're reckless that you're going to have a problem, right? So pay attention. Next, in the area of your next few months, you have the Eight of Wands. So we're going to say that this is the first few months of the year. Yep, and this is great. Eight of Wands is charging forward, making a lot of progress. Speed as well. And again, it's the year of the horse. So speed is definitely a theme for 2026. And I'm pretty sure the Chinese New Year starts in February. So around your birth time, basically. I actually don't know when it starts, so don't quote me on that, but somewhere around there. And so you might notice that things are moving forward very quickly. I do feel it's a popular year for you because, again, you are changing. Like I said, the main theme is you reinventing yourself. And it's like, but not really, because it's more like you are taking off the mask. Like I said, you are done pretending. And I feel like you're just kind of like popping out into the world and you're saying, this is me. Take it or leave it. And you're not making any apologies for it, and you definitely shouldn't. So, I feel like that could be bringing speed into your life as well. You have the Six of Swords in the area of your closest relationships. This is all relationships, even to things as well, not just people, but it could be people, places, or things that you have a relationship to. This is a card of moving on to calmer shores. I definitely feel that just based off your astrology over the past many, many years, you've learned a lot through relationships. And, it's not like you're necessarily moving on from relationships or anything. I just think it's saying you're done with that cycle of learning that you did over the past many years, and now you're moving forward. It's like I really don't actually get much on this card. I just think you're done with a certain cycle of lessons that you've learned, and like who you can trust, who you can't, who you can work with, who you can't, and now you're just moving forward. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Death card, so ready to change, ready for something new, right? Ready to reinvent yourself, and that, again, this fits in very well with the astrology, so I feel like you are just moving forward. The King is dead underneath the Death Rider, and the King being dead on the Death card kind of says that even kings die. Nothing that we think will last forever really does, and, I think you're ready. It's like you are becoming a new king or something. You are, claiming a new crown. And this 2026 could be like the beginning of you claiming a new crown. So if you have already reached the top of something, you could be ready for the next, thing that you're going to reach the top of. It could be a new purpose, a new direction, something like that. You have the Ace of Pentacles as your outcome, which is amazing. Definitely some really solid opportunities coming in for you this year, and I would take those opportunities. Also, this could be something new that you are kind of like investing in. The Ace of Pentacles is like a garden. We have to water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight. We have to really take care of it, and that's how we can make it a success, whatever it is. Let's see. With the Four of Pentacles in the world, you show up as the High Priestess. So, again, you reinventing yourself. Again, it is a very intuitive time. That magic triangle that we have in the astrology, again, until 2028, is going to be very intuitive with you, for you, because it's, even though Neptune will be moving into Aries, it's still going to be very intuitive time. And, it's time for you to like bring that intuitiveness into the world. Your intuitive ideas, your plans, and things like that. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, I do feel that you could be experiencing pushback, but it's like in your head, you know. What I mean by that is if you share your ideas right now even now, you know, I'm recording this on November 28th, and so this will be published on the 29th. So even through December, through next year, you know, if you share your ideas, you might experience people being like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if you should do that, blah, blah, blah. Your job is to not listen, Pisces. With the Chariot, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is about following your curiosity and kind of your intuition. With the High Priestess, I would say. You know, again, the Chariot is going in a completely unique direction in his life. He is you know, people in that city behind him might be calling him crazy. It's like there's safety in the city. Everything is the same. Everything is predictable in that city behind him, and he doesn't really know where he's going. And so, people could be pushing their fears on you, but that might just be an entanglement that you shouldn't listen to. With the King of Swords, you have the Five of Wands. Yes, again, the thing I would be careful of with the King of Swords is thinking this is the way things should be, and, you know, based off of history. You know, if you're thinking like, oh, I can work on this project or this relationship should be this way, nothing is going to be this way. Nothing is going to be as it should. And, you know, it's like, sure, you know, you could be worried about that, or you could just realize that things are changing. And, you know, that's what I would say there with the Five of Wands. With the Sun, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with, but he's making a symbol with his hand here. It's the same symbol the Hierophant is making. And so the Ten of Swords can be a blessing in disguise. I think you're going to be kissing this year, 2025, goodbye, and you're just excited for the new year. Again, it's coming up in the past position, which is the energy that you're moving past. So I feel like you're just moving past it. With the King of Cups, you have the Tower. Yeah, you are changing on a very deep level for sure. You know, you could experience these Tower moments. And again, this isn't scary. Whenever you reinvent yourself, it's like something is crumbling in your life, and so something new can be born. So again, I think the Tower is just talking about the process that you could be going through. And, you know, the Tower is about accepting reality. You know, these people have been ignoring reality for too long, and they're coming down from reality. With the Eight of Wands, here you go. You have the King of Cups again. So again, trusting your own feelings, and that's the thing that will get you charging forward the fastest, is listening to yourself. With the Six of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. It's like Four of Cups can be a little bit boring, can be boredom a little bit. And so I feel that some of you maybe are looking for more engaging, more growth-focused connections in all areas of your life. You know, we're not just talking about love. We're talking about every type of relationship that you have. The Four of Cups could also be a little bit hesitant about love. You know, he's been disappointed at least 3 times before, and he's getting a new love offer. Again, we'll look more into this in the deeper 2026 readings that I'll be doing soon. But I do kind of get the feeling that some of you might have a person coming in and you're just a little bit resistant. And I'm not telling you what to do, but you know, I think opening up to it would be good. With the Death card, you have the Six of Swords. So moving on to calmer shores. Definitely improvements coming in for you, which is good, with the Death card and the Six of Swords. And you're definitely moving away from something, so pretty obvious. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Four Swords. Pretty good. I think that this could be something that heals you inside and out, the Ace of Pentacles, like an opportunity that's coming in for you. I'm wondering if this is like an opportunity that shows you who you really are, Pisces. Like, you know, you're building something this year, 2020, probably longer than just 2026, of course. You know, this could be something that you're working on for a very long time. It could be financial, but doesn't have to be. You could just be working on your personality or who you are, or who you are done pretending to be. And, you know, obviously it's not going to happen overnight, and it could be something you work on for years. But whatever it is, I feel it's going to be very healing for you. You have this Lost card. This is Saturn and Pisces. We have Saturn and Pisces right now. And, you know, again, I think that Saturn and Pisces for you is pretty, you know, it's the end. You've already learned the lessons and everything. But this bird is like picking over these bones right here, and there's nothing left on those bones. Again, there is something about this reading that's saying you're leaving something behind, and so I definitely feel you are. Next, you have this eccentricity card. Uranus and Gemini is going to make you very eccentric and probably bring out the questioning. People might be saying that you're being erratic or you're making bad decisions and things like that. But again, they don't know what's going on with your intuition, Pisces. And I think that's what you need to pay attention to. It's like just because your life doesn't fit this cookie cutter idea of how life should be doesn't mean you're going in the wrong direction. And so, I think being eccentric is good. You have this criticism card. Told ya. Like I said, people criticizing the moves that you make and things like that. I wouldn't even react to it, Pisces. I would just keep doing what you're doing. Again, your results will speak for themselves. Maybe not immediately, but definitely in the future. Next, you have this lust card. It's like I feel like you're a little too nervous in relationships. Now, it's almost like things have happened to you in the past that I think have made you kind of try to keep people at arm's length, is the feeling I get here. And I do feel like you could be attracting a person who really likes you here, Pisces. This might happen in the first part of the year. And, of course, take your time. Don't rush. But I would also say that, if the person is proving that they're going to stick around, then, allow them to stick around is kind of what I'm getting. And finally, you have this principle card. Yes, your principles. The whole entire reading is talking about your principles, like who you are, the things that you believe in, the things that you believe to be true. That's what I would be sticking up for. But I love this reading for you, Pisces. Very good. So definitely a good year. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your 2026.